Blockchain prospects. Let's have a look at the objectives of this lesson. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to identify the use cases of blockchain in healthcare industry, identify the use cases of blockchain in government organization, identify the use cases of blockchain in finance industry, identify the use cases of blockchain in other industries worldwide. Do we need blockchain? Our first concern must be whether the traditional database system can meet our use case needs. In case it does, we wouldn't need fast, secure transactions, and thus we won't require a blockchain. Always in the ledger system, there would be many people involved, and if they are not ready to trust a third party and need to keep their data private, then the best option would be to go for a permissioned blockchain. Permissioned blockchain would also allow to control the permissions in blockchain software. In case redundant copies are required to be saved in multiple distributed computers and do not have the need to keep the data private, we could have a public blockchain. Challenges in blockchain. Following are some of the challenges in blockchain. Initial cost. Miners use giant computer rigs with several servers to keep the network ticking over, and that consumes a lot of electricity, which is not affordable. Second major factor is the energy consumption. Proof of work consensus mechanism is very wasteful as a computing algorithm. The year 2017 saw a significant increase in Bitcoin network activity, and estimates show a combined yearly energy consumption rate of 70 terawatt hours for Bitcoin. Blockchain security issues. A blockchain pulls its security profits from the decentralized nature of its nodes that verify transactions on the blockchain. But owing to the design of blockchain technology, all public blockchains are exposed to 51% attacks. Blockchain privacy issues. If a blockchain is public, anyone could look at the transaction recorded on the blockchain. The information available in the public domain runs against long-standing norms, especially in healthcare, legal, and financial sectors, which have the typical privacy requirements. Public perception. The biggest disadvantage of blockchain has been the perception it holds in the eyes of the people. People don't see it as a part of conventional functioning. Most don't believe that blockchain technology will last for long. Integration with legacy systems. The integration barrier with legacy systems is also a main issue with adopting blockchain. All the traditional systems would be using different data formats and models for storing data and would be working in isolation. Most of these systems are tightly packed and would have very less models of integration with blockchain. Identifying a blockchain use case. So we need to understand what kind of use cases could be used for blockchain. It should have a business problem that requires blockchain technology to solve it. Blockchain provides a real-time view of the data to people who can join the network as a participant to verify the transactions and data. A business use case for data exchange that has trust issues. Thus, an identifiable business network needs to be chosen. To establish the trust, there are often manual bunch of business verification processes which are established. Verification steps result in additional operational cost and time. Verification time delays the consequent business processes that are depending on this data. So a blockchain could be used where the verification could be done by consensus algorithms. Healthcare use cases. Patient data management. Here's how it goes. The user agrees to share its health data by giving permission. The health wallet would create an address which stores as smart contract on blockchain. When researchers wish to access data, they check the permissions in smart contracts to check whether the use of the health records is allowed. If yes, then they access the data, record the transaction on blockchain, and make the payment to the patient's health wallet. HealthCoin payments is transformed to money, which could be used to purchase medical services. Drug traceability. Blockchain could also be used in drug traceability. When the manufacturer manufactures the drug, it marks it with a unique code. The information is stored on blockchain and a hash is produced. It sends the drug to the wholesaler. The wholesaler then verifies the origin of the product, and this transaction is stored on the blockchain. The wholesaler further sends the drugs to the pharmacist and then later verifies the origin of the product again. Like all other transactions, even this transaction is stored on the blockchain. The pharmacist delivers the origin of the product. So this way, the drug could be traced effectively using blockchain. Government use cases. Blockchain in voting. In this application, the voter logs into the user interface to cast its vote. The identity verifier receives the ID, verifies that it is unique, and authorizes the ID key to vote on a certain ballot type. By casting votes in the form of transactions, we can create a blockchain which keeps a track of the tallying of votes. This way, everyone can agree on the final count of votes based on a consensus because they can count the votes on their own, and because of the blockchain audit trail, they could easily verify that no votes were changed or tampered with and no dishonest votes were added. Using this solution, the voter would be authorized to cast its vote by the registrar and ID verifier. Using VoteKey, the voting booth UI generates the ballot for the voter to cast their vote. All right, that was how blockchain can be used in voting. Let's have a look at another interesting example. Tax processing. Let's see how a tax processing GST without blockchain works. A GST invoice is issued by the seller. Buyer pays the bill with GST. Seller pays to the supplier. Information of payment is recorded on GST portal. Final tax goes to the government. Additional payment is adjusted. So that's how the tax processing works without blockchain. Now we'll see how blockchain could be implemented in such a system. During the payment for a good or service, blockchain smart contract can calculate the invoice based on the tax amount that is already levied during the production process. Smart contract directly transfers the tax amount to tax authority. The refund, if any, is directly paid to the customer's account. Blockchain in land registry. Citizen initiates a request to sell hall or notary. Now, if you go by the current scenario, the centralized database is used, which has risk of data manipulation. Also, since there is a paperwork involved, there are chances of risk or loss, damage, and forgery. But if you use a blockchain-based platform like Exonum, there is a guarantee of further immutability, and the public data can be changed only by the owner. So these were some of the use cases in government organizations. Blockchain in KYC. Here's how blockchain can help in KYC system. It permits for the secure transfer of a KYC verification stamp from one entity to another, as it is unparalleled in distributed version control of ledger contents. It offers highly immutable and detailed audit trail on all actions on KYC files. Centralized blockchain-based KYC. Banks could also be linked to a centralized KYC repository along with the lines of the current KYC registry system. In this arrangement, customer data and documents are stored in the distributed ledger, and the bank that performs the KYC stores all the relevant details and generates a unique KYC number. When another bank wants to perform due to persistence on the same customer, it can use the unique KYC number to access the central registry and download customer details from the blockchain. Blockchain in trade finance. By applying blockchain technology to trade finance, technology infrastructure companies could reduce the complexity and increase efficiency in large scale. Here's how blockchain can be implemented in trade finance. Upon purchase, the agreement of sale between the importer and the exporter is shared with the import bank using a smart contract on the blockchain. In real time, the import bank will have capability to review purchase agreement, draft terms of credit, and submit obligation to pay to the export bank. The export bank will review the provided payment obligation, and once approved, a smart contract will be generated on the blockchain to cover terms and conditions and lock in obligations. After receiving the obligations, the exporter will digitally sign blockchain equivalent letter of credit within the smart contract to initiate shipment. Goods will be inspected by third parties and the custom agents in the exporting country, and their actions will have a digital signature of approval on the smart contract. During transit, goods will be transported from country A to country B. Upon delivery, importer will digitally acknowledge receipt of goods and trigger payment. Using provided acknowledgement, smart contract will automate payment from importer to exporter via a smart contract. Next, we have blockchain in mortgage industry. Blockchain in mortgage industry. Here's how blockchain can improve the system. The process flow for mortgages is given in the steps below. 1. Buyer applies for property valuation to Mortgage Solutions. 2. Property valuation report is validated according to business rules using smart contracts and is submitted to Mortgage Solutions. 3. Mortgage Solutions forwards the request to the buyer. 4. Buyer applies for a loan to the bank. 5. Bank requests the generation of a report from title search and municipality. 6. Mortgage smart contract redirects requests automatically to the respective parties. A. Title search report is created and submitted back to Mortgage Solutions. B. Tax report is prepared and submitted to Mortgage Solutions. 7. Smart contract checks the reports and forwards it to the bank. 8. If all the conditions are valid, the bank approves the loan. 9. Buyer and seller sign the required agreements. 10. Agreements are submitted to the bank. 11. Sales proceeds and loan is dispersed to the seller's bank. 12. Seller's bank credits the seller's account. Blockchain in loan management. The use of blockchain technology allows much faster approval for loan applications and credit cards, something that is presently long-winded and expensive for lenders to do. The use of credit scores, paychecks, and bank statements might become less important to approve a loan. Thanks to the availability of smart contracts, lenders are able to authorize transactions, confirm if the counterparties are legit, and perform routine account administration tasks from time to time, making it cost-effective and accelerating the process. Blockchain in eEstonia. Blockchain secures the health records in eestonia.com by taking account of every update and keeps a record of all the transactions of the stock market. It stores information of birth certificates, business contracts, and also marriage registrations. Blockchain in energy markets. Blockchain facilitates secure transactions of power between individuals on a distributed network who do not have an existing relationship. Grid is based on an open source, cryptographically secure, decentralized application platform. All energy transactions are logged. Prosumers generate power beyond their needs and feed it into the grid using blockchain. Smart contracts automate agreed trading relationships. Commercial transactions are auditable, improving trust. Pre-trade agreement can be arrived using blockchain. Carbon credit certificates can be issued in blockchain, which incentivizes green energy creation. Blockchain in media. Ujo Music. Following are problems in media. Comprehensive database of music copyright doesn't exist. Royalty amount takes longer than usual to reach the music makers. Blockchain can be used in media platforms where the royalties could be calculated in a fast, transparent, and secure manner, especially using blockchain platforms like Quorum, where thousands of transactions could be processed in a second. Even Ethereum-like public blockchain platforms could be used to make decentralized music platforms that make it tamper-proof and an easily auditable database. Blockchain in travel. Locktrip. Locktrip. It is a blockchain-powered marketplace where property owners can rent their property globally, collect money, and manage bookings without paying any commissions to middlemen. Blockchain in travel industry has also revolutionized the way hotel booking payments work by not giving any commission to the hotel or third-party vendor, unlike the traditional travel agency systems. The blockchain would be a decentralized system and would be free to use, thus reducing the cost and additional overheads. Blockchain in supply chain. Let's have a look at the traditional approach of order placement. In a traditional approach of placing order, the following steps are involved. Customer places an order on the website. A member of the sales team receives the order and dispatches it to the shipping department. A member of the sales team receives the order and dispatches it to the shipping department. The shipping clerk picks the order and proceeds for shipment. Your order gets boxed and shipped to your address. Customer gets satisfied and submits the product review on the website. Now comes the blockchain in supply chain. Introducing blockchain smart contracts in supply chain modifies the traditional ecosystem of transport goods from the wholesaler to retailer and then to the end user. The transactions of supplier, order, invoice, and shipment would be stored in the blockchain database, which makes it tamper-proof and a secure way of managing shipments. Blockchain for network security. Korea Telecom. Blockchain could also be used to improve cybersecurity. Blockchain would provide permissioned access control, traceability of transactions, and also data recovery by the usage of smart contracts. Data provider can use encrypted data transmission for 1. Registration of data attributes and ID information, 2. Setting of access rights and automation of processes, which can then be integrated with blockchain API. Data exchange can take place on blockchain. This will prevent fraud and data theft. Bigger blockchain networks with more users have a substantially lower risk of being prone to hacks because of the complexity required to penetrate such a network. Data can be accessed by the users via a secured channel with data access authentication over a wide area network. Key takeaways. This brings us to the end of Lesson 8. Let's have a recap of today's learnings. By now, you should be able to identify the use cases of blockchain in healthcare industry. Identify the use cases of blockchain in government organization. Identify the use cases of blockchain in finance industry. Identify the use cases of blockchain in other industries worldwide.
Hi there, if you like this video, subscribe to the Simplilearn YouTube channel and click here to watch similar videos. To nerd up and get certified, click here.